Welcome everyone to a glorious battle between myself as Khorne going up against Frederick as Grand Cathay. Now we're going to play on the Khornite Wastelands, so a little bit of a home advantage here for myself. Now this here was a training game between myself, Ducky and Frederick, so he's learning a little bit here from the Duckmeister, who of course you guys do know as this fantastic YouTuber. Now on the backside we are going to be having double Furies here from myself. You can see either corner just kind of vanguarded, trying to be a little bit sneaky up against my opponent. So for his front line, 5 units of the Jade Warrior Halberds, also going to be having some Jade Lancers on the side. So really good protection around here with some Peasant Long Spearmen. For the main pocket, we are going to be having Jade Warrior Crossbows, and we're also going to be having some Peasant Archers, and a unit of the Armor Piercing Eye-Held Gunners. For the Lord Choice in the sky, we are going to have a Dragon-Blooded Lord of Yin, here with the spells of the Ancestral Warriors, Talons of the Night, Storm of the Shadows, and the Scales of the Celestial Court as the ability. We're also going to be having Will of the Dragons, Arcane Conduit, and the Jade Amulet to really help there with leadership and all that manner. So for myself, in the frontier, we are going to be having Flesh Hounds. I think it's 2 in total, 1 on either flank. And for the front line, 2 units of Bloodletters on the right, 2 on the left, and then 4 units of the Shielded Warriors of Khorne in the middle. In the back, 1 unit of the Bloodletters. The Lord Choice is going to be a Naked Herald of Khorne, only bringing that Hellblade. And then we are going to be having the Cultist here, just with 1 summon, making it rather tournament legal. So both sides are going to be coming forward here. I'll get a nice little skip on to the action, but we do see I'm going to be closing in the backside here with some of my Furies, trying to see if I can get in pretty quickly here to compromise the Archers and Crossbows. The Lord Choice is going to be coming forward. I'm not sure if he's trying to get a spell on here, but it looks like he's going to be just moving around, trying to see maybe if he can slow one of them, and then maybe get an Air of Effect damage spell going down. We're going to get the Flesh Hounds round onto the sides. Maybe trying to see if I can juke out some of the Jade Lancers, force him into a bit of a poor rotation. We're going to be shooting at the frontier up against the Cultist. Bit of a mistake here from Frederick. The Cultist does actually have a Silver Shield, so he's actually going to negate 55% of all incoming small missiles, and then also that 75 armor. There's not really too much AP for the Jade Warrior Crossbows, so they're not really doing too much damage up against a very small single entity. So we're going to be charging forward as well with the Warriors. We do need to focus down the Bloodletters if we can here with the Crossbows, and also these Peasant Archers. So we do have the Furies nice and ready to go. We are actually going to be moving the Cultists into the middle. I wanted to summon here on the back pocket up against the Iron-Held Gunners. Now we're going to be spreading in with lots of armor piercing. Pretty good there up against the Cultists. We are going to get the Bloodletters in the back, and we can see the Furies are moving in. So they're going to be compromising all 5 units of range as I now get in here with the Shielded Warriors of Khorne. So they're going to charge into the front line here up against the Halberds. Halberds do have good armor piercing, but the Warriors of Khorne have pretty good melee defense. They're going to be holding on the front line. Bloodletters now going to be engaging left, right, and center. And Bloodletters now coming round the left and right hand side. Flesh Hounds are going to be moving, kind of holding these in the backside, just waiting for any of these good range units to break. We do actually have some Peasant Long Spearmen waiting in the backside. I believe very smartly here they do push forward with Frederick, trying to get off the Furies so they can kind of pull through their own infantry and have some pretty good protection. But of course, I can take to the sky and get away from these engagements. In the middle, it looks like the summon now is going to be fighting up against the Peasant Long Spearmen. We do get free here with the Iron-Held Gunners. Those shotguns are ready to go, but I do have Flesh Hounds in the back. A sneaky unit of the Jade Warrior Crossbows now have managed to pull through, but double Flesh Hounds are going to be jumping straight here onto the Crossbows. As we move into the backside here, we are going to be clattering alongside the Iron-Held Gunners, and we have really good charge bonus, 46 here with 65 weapon strength. It's just going to devastatingly ruin the day of the Iron-Held Gunners. In the front line, going to be fighting, going to be breaking a lot here of the Crossbows. The range and the majority of the damage per second has been removed here from the battlefield. Bloodletters are now crumping on the flanks, really fighting up against the Jade Warrior Halberds and also the Peasant Long Spearmen. Moving forward, the Bloodletters now going to be charging to that with that mobility. They are going to be having 38 speed compared to the 28 of the Khornite Warriors. And you can see in the backside here, we are going to be pushing off the Peasant Archers. We do actually have the Jade Lancers. They're going to be charging into the backside here, trying to protect the Peasant Archers. But I know that I just need to get rid of them, and there's not much that can bring me down. Do have Jade Warrior Crossbows in the back. They're also going to be getting compromised here by the Flesh Hounds. And for the majority of the battle line, we do see the hero fighting in the middle. We actually have some of the Furies doing some pretty good work here up against the Jade Warrior Crossbows. Lord Choice is going to be hanging around. Wouldn't mind seeing him get in the middle here a little bit. We do actually get the big Sword of Khorne down. I tried to get on the Jade Lancers, but Frederick was very good. He would manage to miss there up against that beautiful ability. On the right-hand side, Iron-Held Gunners are going to be getting away, and this could be a bit of a sneaky one. If we manage to get away, they have so much armor-piercing DPS that they're going to be wrecking most of my good heavily armored infantry front line. In the middle, we are going to get the gorgeous spell of the Ancestral Warriors as they charge forward. The Stormy Boys lead to the battlefield. These halberds for the anti-large and armor piercing and mass physical resistance as well, 75%. If they fight here up against the regular Khorne Warriors, it's going to do pretty well. And Storm of the Shadows, very nice. Lots of Winter Magic here in the back pocket for Cathay, but we do see here the Khorne Warriors going to be taking out champions, still going to be fighting up against the halberds, and it looks like they're going to be roughly winning, which is rather interesting. Halberds do, of course, pay for some good armor piercing. Now, the Ancestral Warriors have got to be careful. They are infantry, and Bloodletters do have magic damage, so they are going to do pretty well here up against these bad boys. You've got to be a little bit careful. Khorne Warriors with the Horn of Khorne going to be charging forward. Both of these units get plus 24 melee attack, up to 68, which is rather strong for a heavily armoured infantry unit. In the backside, it looks like the cavalry do catch up alongside the Fleshhounds, but nice little stat line for them, 22 armor piercing per unit. So they do pretty well, actually, even up against, relatively heavily armoured units. We are going to be able to push them off. They managed to push off also the crossbows there in the backside. For the main battle line, we do actually get the mobile Bloodletters to finish off the Iron Hell Gunners. What you kind of need to do here as well is get your Peasant Horsemen in, kind of charge them into their death up against the Bloodletters to hope you get the Iron Hell Gunners back. You need that armor piercing to win the battle. In the front, we're going to be breaking and shattering the Jade Warrior Halberds thanks to our Warriors of Khorne. They shatter, and they now have been removed from the match. In the middle, what we got here, we've got the Lord Choice with the Scales of the Celestial Court. Fighting here up against the Lord Choice, he does have magic damage, so of course that physical resistance isn't going to do too well. Same here for the Bloodletters. I did lose the Relentless Rage here in the pocket, just to keep the Chaos Warriors of Khorne fighting. I think maybe I clicked on the wrong one here, but still nonetheless, they're still going to be doing quite well. Going to be fighting up against the Lord Choice. He gets entrapped in the middle. His health here was kind of keeping the battle together, but you can see the more damage he takes, the more balance of power pushes into my favour. On the side here, the Warriors of Khorne and the Fleshhound's going to move into the right hand side, and it looks like here the Iron Hell Gunners, they do shatter, and it's going to be very close here, shattering for the Peasant Horsemen. There's really not much here left on the battlefield. In the middle, so there is going to be an ability here. This could be very, very strong here, and sadly it is not going to go off here, but we did actually see a potential Talons of the Night that really could have wrecked 3 units of infantry and my Lord Choice. Really good stuff here coming from Frederick. This is an incredibly tough matchup on land battles, I have to say so. It's probably one of Grand Cathay's worst matchups, and he played it incredibly well. I would say here, probably use your cavalry a little bit more defensively to protect some of those ranged tools. So as the Furies go in, charge in with your cavalry, get that mobility and mass to kind of pin them, force them back into the air, and then you can start firing again with your backline range. But it's really, really tough, especially when you have summons, Furies that are really cheap, Fleshhounds as well, that get on the back, and the shielded front line. The shielded cultist is rather difficult to deal with. Fast Bloodletters as well get in the back. You can see in the hundreds and 200s of kills. It's just devastating to really take down Khorne on such a battle. So for myself, the Herald of Khorne, 1068. He only cost 900, so comfortably paying for himself. 280 there, plus the summon for the cultist, just compromising most of the frontline infantry. 930, 900, 730, 350, and 650 there for the Bloodletters, coming in at 220 kills. That's rather impressive. 950, 550, 1,700 for the Warriors of Khorne. Those shields really doing quite well. 750 gold cost for these bad boys. Pretty much overall the majority paying for themselves. 430, 590 there for the Fleshhounds that are incredibly healthy. And the Chaos Furies, they did their job. They got in, they compromised the range tools and did really well. So 380, 560, 270, and 150. The Lord Choice of Yin got 650 with 370, 320, 300, 320, and 160 for the halberds. One thing I might say that might be a little bit different is actually maybe bring the sword and shield infantry units. I think they're cheaper. They're still gonna hold the line pretty well. You can then also bring in an extra Peasant Long Spearman and maybe just upgrade a few of these. Maybe just some armor piercing crossbows might be quite nice. They're also a little bit tankier. They can hold a little bit better. And perhaps maybe you can bring more to the battlefield here, perhaps. But we can have 615 there for the Peasant Horsemen, 700, 520, 800 for the Jade Lancers, with 150 and 190 for the Jade Warrior Crossbows. 81, 170, and 240 there. You can see a lot of these bad boys sadly not paying for themselves, and they're going to be the majority of the damage on the battlefield. You could actually take the Jade Warrior Halberds, remove those, and actually just take Jade Warrior Sword and Shield, and maybe even put them up to triple gold chevron. Plus the harmony of the Lord Choice, that's really going to bolster on that melee defense. They're going to have good melee stats and good leadership, so they could actually potentially do quite well here. Of course, they will lack the AP, but they're mostly there to hold. And of course, you maybe get a couple of chevrons on your Jade Lancers, you can really hold in that battlefield and keep off these Chaos Furies. So we've got 73, 250, 250, and 190 there for the Peasant Long Spearman. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, please smash that like button. Feel free to leave a comment down below and subscribe if you haven't already. Going in the future, we did actually do the flip side of this battle, where I played Grand Cathay and then Frederick played as Khorne. So I'll be showing that one off soon, so you guys can see a very, very different battle, which is rather interesting. So other than that, I've been your boy Logic. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all very, very soon.